Okay, today I want to talk about how to pick a niche on eBay. Because, well, specialization is probably one of the most important things any eBay seller can do, but I think a lot of people they don't really understand why it's important. So I want to talk about why it's good to specialize. Now, the first big benefit to picking a niche and only working in a little area on eBay is that you can already work with items you're familiar with, especially if you're picking something that's related to a hobby of yours or something you've worked with in the past. And this gives you an advantage when you're selling. One, that it leads to better descriptions because you can kind of talk about what some of the pros and cons and your own experiences with the items or items similar to it compared to somebody else who just went on like some wholesaling thing and said, oh, I'll just buy some of these because they're cheap. Well, you get more advantage to that when you can write descriptions because you've used items like that in your experience with them. Now, the big advantage here is that can lead to higher prices for the items you're selling. This is important with new items, and it's especially important if you're dealing with used goods because you can talk about kind of what you like about the item, what you don't. It gives the description a whole lot better, makes it a whole lot different than something that you just put a big list of features and say here's what it is, blah blah blah, and you go on from there. And when you're answering questions about the items, this is also an advantage because, well, if you know something about it, you can kind of direct people and say, yeah, this will work for this application, but maybe not for this. And when people are asking those type of questions, if you can answer them like that, you will definitely get a whole lot more people buying from you. Alright, now here's the big one, and I think this is where 99.9% of eBay sellers just completely miss the boat on this. Alright, you're building a list of targeted buyers. Alright, so you've got some group of people who've proven that, one, they're willing to spend money on whatever area it is, and two, that they've already now they've got a relationship established with you because they bought something from you. They know who you are, and if you delivered on what you promised, they probably like you a little bit, or can kind of trust what you're saying. So understanding that the list you're building here is probably one of the most valuable assets you can have for any business, not just an eBay business. But if you're just selling kind of willy-nilly kind of everything under the sun, well, the list you're building of buyers really isn't very valuable because they're not targeted. It's just the only thing they have in common is they bought something from you. So it's going to be tough to later send out a promotion to them for a specialized item or like a home study course on some type of thing, or even a catalog, just because you've sold such a variety of stuff that it just doesn't pay, and it's not going to be cost effective. So let's talk about some of the best niches that you can get involved with, and I'm just going to kind of give you some general guidelines here to help you pick, and then I'll give you a few specific examples, but just remember there's hundreds and hundreds of good niches to pick on eBay. The big thing is just to pick one, maybe have another account where you've got a whole another type of niche, but I would recommend just sticking to one. But here's the best niches, is that one, they have money, two, they spend money, and three, that their appetite to get more of whatever this particular item is insatiable. Now let me give you some specific examples, just because I think that this kind of general information is not going to be too helpful to some people. The big one here that pretty much everybody likes to use, and I'm going to use it too just because it is such a good example, is golf. Alright? Think about how much somebody who's really into golf spends on that particular hobby. What do they spend money on? Well, they're going to spend money on learning how to golf better, maybe private golf lessons. They spend money at the golf course, on golf clubs, and all their equipment. They spend money on country clubs. They spend money on golfing vacations and resorts, to the tune of tens of thousands of dollars a year for some people. And, well, you got to remember that golfing is kind of one of those kind of rich people type of sports anyway, and so there's plenty of money there. I mean, there's an entire golf channel just devoted to people who want to just watch golf. So you can do very well just selling golf equipment, and then on your back end, sending people, hey, here's a golfing course to learn how to shave 2 points off your handicap or something like that in a month, and people would eat that up. So. And those are some examples. Some other examples of good niches to be involved in: dogs, That the whole attract women, seduction, attract men type of market's pretty good. Weight loss, and like I said, there are just tons and tons of different markets here. Those are just a couple examples. But big thing I want to point out here is you want to pick a niche, you want to specialize. When you're just getting started out, it's okay to just kind of sell, everything under the sun to get some money and revenue rolling in. But once you've got yourself established on eBay, then it's time to go ahead and start specializing. And I think you're going to find that you'll build a real business that way, and you're going to make a whole lot more money in the long run if you really, take advantage of the asset you're building there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you next time.